us into His presence. We thank God for just the opportunity to worship God in spirit and in truth, with liberty, with freedom, no chains bounding us. Amen. I got a few worshipers in here. Folk that literally came into the gates with thanksgiving. You had it, you didn't need a prophet, you didn't need a minister, a preacher, a prayer, you came. Them the type of worshipers I want to hang out with. Amen. All right. Amen. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. In light of all that we're going through. It's good to make no mistake about it. We understand, we know that you're going through something. I know you look good and folk think you look good and they think you got it going on, but at the end of it, they just have a few minute conversation at some point. If we read, we'll let you in on some stuff that you didn't know. We'll let you in on some hell that you didn't know was going on. And so we come here, some of us come here with a seriousness. We're not interested in playing church. We're not interested in just clapping when they say clap, stomp when they say stomp. We're looking for a move of God. I'm not talking to anybody here. We're literally expecting God to do something that we can't do for ourselves. We're expecting God to show up. And for the serious folk, we don't really care how He show up. And we don't really care what effect it has on us, just as long as He shows up. Because we've been going through hell all week. We've been trying to figure out life. Some of us threw the towel in 50 million times, and the towel just kept being thrown back up. But we're here. We're here. We're here, and we join in with the psalmist that said, I was glad when they said to me. Nobody didn't have to drag me. Nobody didn't have to make me feel guilty. Matter of fact, if I just could write my own song, I didn't need nobody to ask me. I just had to get that out. Amen. Since I'm not preaching. Some of this stuff out.
Thank you, God.
Amen. They that worship Him. Worship Him in spirit and in truth. And the truth is the real truth. It's coming with all your baggage, all your stuff, all your junk, all your issues. It's saying, God, here I am. And I come to worship. And that's the thing about worship. It has nothing to do with you and your two cousins and your problems and your issues. It has everything to do with God. Right? Okay. All right. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to preach. You got to speak it in the house. You got to speak in the house. Amen. Amen. But I just, every now and then, we need to just make sure that we're here for the right reason. We're not here to please anybody. We're not here for shape, form, or fashion. We got a God to glorify. Right? We got to just have the right mind and perspective. Right? Our citizenship is in heaven. Right? So we got a new perspective, right? When we come, I'm talking about the serious folk. When we come, we don't have agendas other than to give Him glory. Lift Him up. We expect God to do some things. I just believe He will. I'm trying to stretch this thing out. Trying to stretch it out. You need to sit down. You sit down. You scared me. in right in the house. But when we come into God's house, all right. So it's good to be here. We've got a great speaker in the house. Amen. And I'm so excited. Amen. Come on, let's do it. Awesome. I encourage you to Google her, to kind of just read some stuff. She's got some things going on, and she's got her own practice that deals with mental illness, mercy, mental and emotional. Help me out. Resource Center, Inc. That's right. Yeah, all right. So Mercy, M-E-R-C-I. So I am glad to have her come and share with us. Me and her were classmates at U of M. So obviously she's a lot smarter than I am. Practice. Maybe she can kind of help me out. I might need to sit on the couch. Amen. Amen. That's wrong with that. Yes, sir. Preach gospel. Already preaching. I ain't supposed to be preaching. Sometimes, like I told y'all, if you got a car that need a checkup, sure. This old noggin up here. Let's try to sort through some stuff. But anyway, without further ado, so excited to have this opportunity. And she'll probably share a little bit more about this. That we are actually going to come back. I know this is unusual for COB. I know it, but I need y'all hind parts back here with somebody as well. To bring somebody that, for whatever reason they had to go to their own service. A lot of people are using the afternoon or the evening service to be able to come and be a part of what is being discussed on this morning. So bring somebody, please come out. You don't have a whole lot of excuse because you ain't got to wake up early in the morning. Amen. Amen. I see you. I see y'all. Amen. Don't come with me with that foolishness. Your hind part back here. Amen. All right. Without further ado, I present to some and introduce to others my friend Kelly Davis.
It's something you all pastors will open their doors to a mental health professional. It takes a lot of security into me that says that a pastor really cares about his or her congregation. And mental health professionals are not meant to compete against the gospel. We're just a part of the puzzle. We have to complete it. And I told Pastor Dodson that he got into some of my message on Facebook. He was talking about Apostle Paul and the thorn in his side. Paul cried out 3 times to remove it. And Jesus said, no, my grace is sufficient for that. So whatever Paul struggled with, he died with it, in my opinion. God's grace met him there. I think the Bible is filled with people that have mental health issues. David was after God's own heart. And David 1 minute killed him, and then 1 minute God bless him. And David saw Bathsheba and did what he had to do to have her. That's sometimes hypersexual behavior. Very common with bipolar disorder. Elijah sitting on a juniper tree. Depressed and suicidal. So it's all in scripture. So I'm glad that we're I'm a licensed professional counselor, mental health services provider with the state of Tennessee. And I'm the director of the Grief and Trauma Program at Lakeside Hospital. I'm at Lakeside going on my 9th year. And I am a contracted therapist with on-site, that's in outside of Nashville. On-site has been featured on the Dr. Phil show a lot. Many of you are all familiar with it. So I get called to go up and do intensives with them. And I said all that to say, I know what I'm doing, okay? All right. So I'm just going to jump right in. And this is a lot of information I'm going to give you. And that's why I really do want to come back tonight, because I want to do a question and answer tonight, just to make sure that we're as clear as we can be. And I also want to ask you, if you're willing to do this, that if I say something that you have a reaction to, that you can relate to, if you could just stand at your seat for a moment, just so I can nod to say, hey, I see you. Would y'all mind doing that for me? And if somebody happens to stand beside you, just put your hand on their shoulder again, saying, I see you. And I say healing is at the point of being heard and noticed. So if I say something, just stand, and if you get a nod, go ahead and have a seat. Some of us may stand the whole sermon. We may not stand up at all. So I'm going to talk about, this is inspired by a teaching called The Voice of Your Heart. And with all of my credentials and all the letters behind my name, 2015 was probably one of the worst years of my life. The bottom fell out of my life, even with me being a clinician. So the therapist that I went to, and the therapist that I still see, uses this information. So this is something that I apply to my life. I live it, I speak it, I teach it, and I want to also present it to you. Because if not for therapy, y'all, I can't stand up in front of you, okay? And I'm just keeping it real. I can't stand up in front of you. If me loving Jesus and therapy, I got to mix it all together. We need all of it. So this is coming from a Christian psychologist by the name of Chip Dodd, and I'm just going to give you the overview of the book that I read, and the book that I use in my practice as well. And I want to first start out with talking about, there are only 2 universal actions. Everything that we do, there are 2 universal actions. We are either expressing love or we're crying out for love. Ain't but 2. Yeah. Everything you do, you're either expressing love or there is a cry for love. We need love. And we are created to live, we are created for 3D living. We're created to live in relationship with God, in relationships with ourselves, and in relationship with others. And in those 3 relationships, we're either expressing or we're crying out. We are created to live 3D living. And I give this little test a lot of times when we get to talking about feelings and emotions, because this lesson is just going to be about feelings and emotions. How do you know a baby is upset? What does a baby do? A baby has a need, a baby will do what? If a baby is scared, they'll do what? Somewhere along the line, we started growing up, somebody said, shut up, stop all that. So now if you are hurt, if you are scared, if you have a need, somebody said you better not show it. Or if I fall and scrape my knee, my mom would come and kiss my knee. Now I got to act like my knee is not hurt anymore because I got to make her think the kiss worked. So our emotions have been manipulated since the beginning of time. We don't know what it is that we feel. And feelings are really the only things that do not die when you bury them. Anything else alive you bury, it's going to die. You bury feelings, they grow. They grow and they get stronger, especially if there are things that have hurt us. And with September being, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, I'm not going to be afraid to speak directly to just the word of not wanting suicide, not wanting to be here anymore. And many Christians will say things like, I would never kill myself. Who would want to do that? But I challenge you, how many times have you prayed? God, just take me in my sleep, it'll be all right. All right. Or if I could just disappear, it would be all right with me. That's still suicidality. That's still, you have the same desire as somebody that would take a handful of pills. But our feelings are so manipulated, that's what we want to do. We just don't want to feel anything, so I just gotta get out. Most suicidal people don't want to die. They just want to get away from the pain of the situation. They don't want to end their life. They want to end their pain. But suicide doesn't end pain. All it does is transfer pain. Just leave it for the people that love us. That's all it does. Leave it. So, dealing with our feelings, we ignore our feelings if we were taught very young, you don't do that, you stop that. So we learn as a sign of I'm tough, then just don't show it. Just don't show it. There are 8 feelings that he talks about, and I'm going to jump right into these. As I said, it's a lot, but I'll be able to explain them tonight, explain a little bit better tonight. I think we can only fully experience God through brokenness. Unless you've been fully and truly broken, you cannot fully and truly experience God. You can't. That's the only way you can know God is through your brokenness. So brokenness is so beautiful because God has a way of showing up in the brokenness. However, if I hide the brokenness, then I can't really experience God. And I think Christians, we don't have a hard time being honest with God. We have a hard time being honest with God in front of other Christians. Because if I tell you that I'm hurting or sad, then you're going to challenge my salvation. You're going to tell me I'm not praying enough. We don't have a hard time being hurt. I just don't want to let you know that because then you may shame me for that. And I go back again in the Bible, Paul wasn't shamed. Paul said, when I put you good, evil was present. Things that I don't need to do, I find myself doing. What I should do, I don't do that. So Paul, to me, would have been exiled about 8, 9 times. They would have paid me to take care of Paul is back. And Paul was not shamed, he was used. And in my opinion, I think, churches should be able to put Lakeside out of business. We should be the mental health clinic. However, we're not allowed to show up in our truth. We're not allowed. So one of the first feelings he talks about, you all, is the feeling of hurt. Jim talks about that hurt is an emotional and spiritual bleeding that needs emotional and spiritual solutions. However, we don't like to tell people that we've been hurt, because if I tell you you hurt me, I'm saying that you got to me, and I don't want to give you that. Hurt is shaming and it's severe. I don't want to let you know that you have the power to hurt me in that way. Now, when we don't deal with the hurt, we go into denial. But I do want to say this. The ways that we describe hurt, we say things like, it was a spear to my chest. It crushed me. It broke me. It ripped me in two. I was stabbed in the back. There's a lot of violence when we describe hurt. Would y'all agree or disagree? Yes. And there's some research now that says the brain does not know the difference between emotional pain and physical pain. The brain doesn't know. It's just as severe. So if I describe my head hurt as a spear to my chest, and if I'm that way physically, that's a lot of pain. If I've been stabbed in the back, that's a lot of pain. So we describe it in all the violence, and then we downplay it and say, oh, it'll be all right. That just your past. We say so. We describe it in the violence, then we downplay it. So when we don't deal with the hurt, then we live in resentment. The denial of hurt is resentment. And resentment says, I am mad at you, and I'm going to keep it a secret, and I'm still going to hold you responsible for fixing it. Resentment says, I'm not going to allow you to know. I see. Resentment says, I'm not going to allow you to know how badly you hurt me. When we live in resentment, we justify behaving badly. I say the rules don't apply to me. I do what I want whenever I get ready, because you hurt me. I don't owe you anything. And people that live in resentment, they're bleeding underneath, but they hold everybody else responsible. Except for the person that hurt them. Does that make sense to you all? Except for the person that hurt us. Now, the thing about resentment, we have justification for the way that we act. And if we end up hurting a whole lot of other people living in resentment. Now, resentment rejects those that reaches toward us to want to help us. Resentment says, get out of the way. But one, because we don't trust anymore. Now, the denial of hurt is resentment. There's a gift to hurt, though. The gift of hurt is healing. And once we begin to heal, then we have the courage to show up in a relationship again. But the only way I can start healing, I have to take ownership in my healing. I have to say that I have been hurt. Healing will not come to resentment. Healing will come to hurt. And I have to own. It's simple. I hurt. If I go to the doctor and give him my knee, but is my elbow really hurt? Will my elbow ever get fixed? I have to give him my knee. My elbow. Y'all get what I'm saying? Instead of my knee, I have to give him my elbow. It won't come to the wrong thing. Resentment is the wrong thing. It covers it up. So hurt is the truth. Resentment is the denial of hurt. The gift becomes healing. Now, the gift of hurt allows us to reach and trust and even create again. But we can't get to it unless we own it. And that's not for anybody else to own that you have been hurt. You have to own that. I think life is too short and too precious to make other people guess and figure it out. The next emotion he talks about is being lonely. Loneliness is emotional. It lets us know that we need human connection. But we deny being lonely, because if I tell you that I'm lonely, you might think that I'm a loser. And I don't want you to know that. We don't want to be lonely, but loneliness is emotional. It lets me know I need somebody else. I need to be connected to somebody else. Loneliness speaks to the deeper hunger to matter and belong. I need to know that I matter and belong, and the only way I can know that, it has to come through another person. But to keep from feeling lonely, we develop apathy. Apathy means, so, I don't care if people don't like me, I don't like folks anyway. You don't have to like me, I don't want to be a part anyway. I don't care about people. The apathy keeps me from putting my heart out there, because everybody wants to be held, but nobody wants to be dropped. We want to be held, but we want to be dropped. So my loneliness drives me to relationship. What I want is intimacy in the relationship, and not in a romantic way. Intimacy just says, I see you seeing me, and I ain't have to hide. Because when I have to hide what's going on with me, then what we have is not real. It's not real. So the gift of loneliness, again, motivates us toward relationship. The next emotion he talks about is sadness. The scripture says that sorrow is better than laughter, for sadness has a refining influence on us. You all, sadness is a feeling of love. If you don't take somebody's joy, you should not take their sadness. Sadness says, I live, I love, I attach to something, and now it's gone. Sadness lets me know I had the ability to love. And if you don't take the joy, don't take the sadness. I see you. I was at a restaurant. Lady came to my table, waitress. She was struggling. I could see that she was tearful. I said, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm okay. And I said, well, you just seem a little tearful. And she said, her nephew was robbed and shot in another city, and his fiance died. And she had just gotten the text, got the news. And I said, you know what, you're not okay. So she really started crying. And she kept saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I said to her, Mary, your tears are so beautiful to me. That means you've loved. You've had the ability to experience love. Y'all get what I'm saying? Yeah. So who am I to shut the feeling, shut the tears down? And we have to be careful shutting tears down. There's some research now. Well, you can Google this. Under a microscope, tears of sadness and tears of joy, they look differently. The molecular structure is different. So when I cry tears of sadness, the body is releasing something that doesn't need to be there. But we stop it. We shut it down. And the research says that lupus and multiple sclerosis is trapped emotional pain. Research, you know who get diagnosed with lupus? By lawsuits, black women. Because it's trapped. Shut it down. Tears of sadness is beautiful. Sadness is cleansing. So again, when people are sad, don't make them cheer up. Just don't threaten to abandon them while they're sad. Just say, tears of sadness, you know? If you don't know what to say to somebody's grief, just say, I don't know what to say. Be careful giving them advice to make you feel better. Just say, I don't know what to say. But the sadness really truly is love. Now, the denial of sadness, when I don't want my sadness, is self-pity, meaning I'll walk around looking pitiful so other people feel sad for me. Because I don't want to acknowledge what it is I've really lost. Y'all get what I'm saying? Yes. The gift of sadness is acceptance, meaning I will accept what will never be okay with me. In my own personal life, my mother dropped dead 4 years ago, 56 years old. That will never, ever, ever be okay with me, yet I accept it. So it's very easy for me to access my sadness. Meaning I don't need you to feel sorry for me because my mother's gone. I can go there. Because I accept what will never be okay. But when we deny the sadness, we want other people to feel the pity for us. Does it make sense to you all? Okay, so we're rolling on through. The next emotion. I think I really need to take my time because I go really fast. I want to make sure I get it. The next emotion is anger. That's one of the most misused emotions. But anger will always expose what we value. Other words we don't associate with anger, words like yearning, wishing, longing. Those are very angry words. Anger will always show you what it is that's important to you. We can have an emotional reaction with a rational response. I can get angry, doesn't mean I have to respond in anger. I can get angry on my anger, just saying I'm just going to walk away from this. But anger lets me know what's important to me. And words that we don't get, we think anger is get away from me. Anger is really, I need you to come close because you don't get what's going on with me right now. I'm trying to clarify to you what it is that I need. Anger is not get away. Anger is come here. So you can get this from me. We don't use, we're scared of anger, but we need our anger. I like that Chip God says that Mother Teresa, Dr. Martin Luther King, and even Jesus Christ were some of the angriest people that ever walked this earth. There were things they did not like, and that came from their anger. So the gift of anger is passion. Meaning my passion will help me change what's not okay with me. It starts with anger, but when we don't want our anger, we don't access our anger, the impairment or denial of anger is depression. Most depressed people are extremely angry. They don't have any desire or longing or yearning anymore. The passion is gone. They're very, very angry. Swallowed anger. You cannot fully forgive unless you've been fully and truly angry. If I get to a place that I want to go along and get along, and if I don't acknowledge my anger, it's turned inward. And that's what depression is. That's what we carry. And most depressed people, again, their heart is shut off from desire. It's shut off from longing, and they're mad about that. The other denial of anger is pride. People will say, oh no, I ain't mad, that didn't get to me. I'm better than that. The denial of it. But the anger is the thing that motivates. Anger creates change. I think we should pray to get up with our anger to change our situation. It's the yearning and longing and hoping of that. And authentic anger is always rooted in compassion and passion. When it's real, it's rooted in compassion. It means I want to right or wrong. I want to let you know what's important to me. Most of the time, when parents are yelling and hollering and fussing, you know, that anger is because I need this to be right for you. You know what I'm saying? This is important to me. It's important to me. That's the thing I see. That's what it is. It's driven by that. It's not meant to hurt. I need you to understand. Anger will warn and clarify. That's what it's trying to do. So, and again, the denial of anger being depression. Depression just pushes the anger back in, closes off the desire. And I think being a therapist, you know, so many people show up, you know, to my office, to the hospital with depression. And we will ask people a lot of times, like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with her? We'll ask ourselves, what's wrong with me? Oftentimes, it's not what's wrong, it's what happened. Something somewhere happened to a person. And maybe when it happened, somebody didn't overreact about it. You know what I'm saying? So didn't nobody show that whatever happened was important. Now I've swallowed that anger. And there goes the depression right there. Nobody valued what happened to you. They always ask the wrong question. It's not what's wrong. If you find out what happened to a person, their behavior will make a whole lot of sense. Now, the next emotion is one that, you know, biblically sometimes I get challenged with is fear. And I know that God has not given us the spirit of fear, yet we have it. He probably didn't give it to me, but we got it. We move in fear daily. We move in fear daily. And again, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but fear lets us know that we live in a world of danger. It lets us know that there are things around me that are not safe. We live in a world where planes run into buildings. 17 kids go to school, get shot and killed. 58 people go to Las Vegas and they die. So we have fear. We have the underlying level of fear. It lets me know. So fear, the gift of fear is wisdom. It tells me to be careful. Take your time. Move slowly. Ask questions if you need to. Fear gives me that. Now, the denial of fear is anxiety. Meaning, I just don't want you to know that I have fear. I want to hide my fear. I see you. The anxiety says that I think I got to figure this out on my own. That I got to do it in my own strength, being self-sufficient. But if I just own my fear, God, I'm scared. I can't do this on my own. Then I get to move through that. And the gift of fear also, you all, is faith. If you ever put hope and risk in a room together, and if you got a favorable outcome, that means you just created a memory. So the next time I get fearful, I'm going to remember the way I made it through that, I'll also get through this. But I have to start with my fear to say, hey, I've been scared before. think about anxiety. Anxiety thinks that we can prevent rejection, humiliation, failure, not being loved. That's what anxiety is all about, trying to control the future. Anxiety is all about trying to control the future. And the opposite of faith is not lack of faith. The opposite of faith is control. I'll say that again. The opposite of faith is control. Help me, Lord, because I got issues with control. I own it. Because I want to control it. I like that Chip God says, so we manipulate the answers to our own prayers. Because we try to control it. If I got to control it, then that's not faith. So I have to go ahead and just let God be who He is to me. Now, you got to do that daily, though. Sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a day. But I have to own that and say, I can't control this. That's not up to me. It's not up to me to do that. It's not up. So, again, the faith is increased when I remember that hope and risk worked out for me at one time. It's increased. The next emotion is shame. And it's one of my favorite emotions. Because the gift of shame, you all, is humility. Yeah. Everybody walking this earth has something in their life. If you found out about it, they would be ashamed. Yes. The person you admire the most has something in their life. If you found out, they would be ashamed. Yes. I have things in my life. If you found out about them, I'd be ashamed. Yes. So therefore, you're no better than me, and I'm no better than you. Yes. Because we all have a level of shame. Yes. And shame makes us humble. It puts us on the same footing. Yes. That's the gift of shame. It helps me. Shame lets me know that I am limited, that I am mistake-ridden. Shame lets me know that I have some answers, but not all the answers. Shame lets me know that I am capable of harming other people, and I'm capable of harming myself. So before I think that I'm all that, I gotta go back down and remember. I have to remember, healthy shame is an admission of truth. And I don't have to tell you all my business. I just gotta know what I'm working with. I have to know what I'm working with. My son headlined a play his senior year. He did extremely well. People kept telling him how wonderful it was. He's like, Mom, how do I accept all these compliments? I said, just remember how you acted a fool at home. Remember how many times I got on to y'all? You know what I'm saying? Remember, if those people could see what we go through at home, what we've gone through, that'll keep you humble. You have to remember that. You have to remember that. But that's the gift of shame. Now, the impairment or the denial of shame is toxic shame. This is where the suicide piece comes in. Shame says, I've made some mistakes. Toxic shame says, I am a mistake. Toxic shame says, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve the air that I breathe. I don't want to keep living. I was at a conference and there was a therapist who was a guest speaker. And he talked about his years of being a therapist and going to therapy and dealing with suicide as a therapist. And I don't know if y'all know, last week a pastor killed himself in California. This pastor took his own life. But this therapist was saying that his therapist said to him, you have every right to want to kill yourself. But don't kill the whole self. Kill the part of you that you don't like. His thing was, he said, I get up every morning and I silence the part of me that worries about what other people think. That's the part I don't like. He said, the rest of me I can deal with. So the therapist gave permission that just look at the part you don't like, because it's not the whole self. There's a part of me that I don't like. He said, well, every morning, that's the part I silence. That's the part that I can't get with. And I thought that was very profound. Because again, we feel like that we have made so many mistakes that we're not salvageable. And oftentimes that comes from, we'll talk a little bit more about that tonight, but what we think other people think of us. It's amazing how much what other people think of us dictate our mood. Now, the humility that comes from shame, and again, the toxic shame is the part that says, I just want to end all of it. The next emotion, and I'm almost done. Next emotion is guilt. I think guilt is the emotion that is used most incorrectly. When it's used correctly, you all, it's very healthy, because guilt lets me know that I've done something that was wrong. Guilt is always associated with a behavior, a do, an action. I don't feel guilty, for example, if I can't buy my kids a Happy Meal or a light bill. I don't feel guilty about that. I haven't done anything wrong. Maybe I feel sad because I don't have enough money. But if I'm shooting dope with my arm and I can't buy my kids food, I need to be feeling what? I already know before I engage in that behavior that it could hurt or harm somebody. So when guilt comes, guilt says, Kelly, you know better than that. That's not you. Now, I don't feel guilty because, you know, I got my cousin came by, take the kids on vacation. I didn't do anything wrong. I work hard. So if I go on vacation, I can go. I feel sad, maybe, but not guilt. We plead guilty to things that we had nothing to do with. And it's amazing to me as children how many times we pleaded guilty for what adults did or did not do. I can feel sad about that and hurt, but I don't have to plead guilty to it because I didn't do anything. Now, the gift of guilt is forgiveness and freedom. If we can get the forgiveness because we don't know how to apologize when we know we're guilty. We say things like, well, if I hurt you, I'm sorry. Well, if I did that, then I'm sorry. No. So if I really want forgiveness, the gift of it, I'm going to have to say, I hurt you. I'm guilty. I meant to do it when I did it. I was angry. Yes, I did it. I'm guilty. Now, will you forgive me? Meaning, will you give you back to me for me? That's forgiveness. Can we come back in relationship with you? That's forgiveness. Even if you say no, I'm still free. Because I owned it. But I got to plead guilt. I can't fix it up. I have to say, yes, I did. I meant to do it when I did it. Now will you forgive me? Now, the denial of guilt is shamelessness. And that, you know, we all, you know, black in here, we probably, all of us probably got people. Well, y'all know how I am, you know how I do. That's just how I am. You just gonna have to get over that. That's just what I do. Meaning, I don't have any shame about how I hurt people. Y'all follow what I'm saying? I don't have any shame about it. I justify, well, that's just what I do. I just say whatever I want to say. That's how I do. But to get the gift of it, I have to own it. I have to own it, especially if I want to salvage this relationship. You don't get to tell people that they didn't hurt. You don't get to say that it wasn't hurtful to them. If they tell you that, then you own, I'm guilty. Yes, I did it. I did it. So, last emotion. I went through these fast. I like to say that the gift of guilt brings mercy and tenderness and grace. It does. And Chip said, the deeper the harm before forgiveness, the deeper the relationship can be when forgiveness is granted. And that's what we want. God gives us the gift of relationship, you all. He really does. The only way we get into the denial of all of these things I talked about is because it's a relationship that hurt us or wound us. The only way we're going to get the gifts that I've talked about is got to come through another relationship. The only way you can go to God is if you have a need. God doesn't need anything from you but a need. That's a currency to God. And the only way God meets needs is through people. So I got to be willing to connect somewhere else. It's not going to come just for me. That's not how we're designed. It's not how we're designed. And the last emotion is gladness. And there are times people say, why is glad last? But gladness is a result of going through hurt, lonely, sad, anger, fear, shame, and guilt. Because we get to a point to say, I'm glad I made it. Yes. I'm glad it's over. Yes. Gladness is I'm willing to go through the pain of it and realize that even at the end of it, God is still God. Yes. That life is tragic and God is faithful. Yes. So there's a relief in the gladness that I'm so glad I made it. Yes. I made it through that. Yes. I made it through that. Now here's the other thing, because life is tragic and God is faithful. Be glad and get your dance on and do all that. Just get ready for whatever the next is. There's always a next. There's always a next. I don't ever teach, even when I'm in practice, I don't ever teach there's a finish line that we cross. There is no finish line. I tell my patients, my clients, that you don't come to me or go to Lakeside, let me do this and get on with my life. This is your life. We're doing this for the rest of our lives. What's dangerous is to live my life that I'm so extended that I say one more thing happen, I can't take it anymore. All right now. You all, that one more thing is going to always happen. Yeah. Even if it's just me breaking a nail. Yeah. See, we're not meant to live up here. This is for emergency only. And this is a heightened level of awareness that we're always living in. Therapy helps you to bring it down some, so when emergency comes, then I got enough room to go up. Yeah. But if I live up here, that's dangerous. The denial of gladness is worldly pleasure without heart. What that means is, I don't ever want to come down. I want to stay up. Alcohol, drugs, sex, shopping, whatever it is, leave me up all the time. I never want to come down. Y'all get what I'm saying? Gladness has a come down to it. Yes. The denial of gladness is just leave me up like it's going to be party. I don't ever want to experience that because I just want to always remain up there. Because we believe if I come down, I may not go back up again. But God is faithful. God is faithful to take us up. The denial of that, though, that again, it gets us in trouble. The denial of gladness, the part of the things that we want to do, we have legitimate needs, but we find counterfeit ways to meet the need. And the counterfeit comes, whether it's drugs, alcohol, illicit relationship. I'm trying to get this need met. Only God can do that, though. That's why we have to continue with the things that are illicit. We do. Again, the gift of gladness is admitting that I'm powerless and admitting that, hey, God is in charge. That I can let go and know that He's got me. The sad thing is, I think we live in a world that Christians are hopeless. And there are times that Christians don't trust God as much as we say we do, because our default becomes, oh well, that's life. Y'all get what I'm saying? Is at that point we really just stop believing. Oh well, that's just how it is, you know? And so we say that. So we don't have to trust to risk being let down. But I don't think Christians should be hopeless, y'all. Y'all follow what I'm saying? I don't think we should be hopeless, but we fall into that saying, oh well, I guess that's just what it is. I refuse. The song you sang this morning, God is big. Now, we believe that or you don't. But to keep the risk of getting hurt and let down, we fall into, oh well, it don't have to be anyway. You know, that stuff always happened to me. We say that so we don't have to, take the risk again. And again, I do, that's the challenge for Christians, the level of hopelessness that we really do have. We have to get to a point that I can live in my truth and trust God to show up for me. I mean, I don't have to put a period right there. I don't have to just settle at, oh well, that's it. Not if I say I'm a believer. Not if I say I'm a believer. That's one reason why I love coming to ministries to be able to do this, because I do this clinically a lot. But when I can name the name of Jesus, oh, I'm coming for you. So I know this was a lot of information, you all. I definitely hope that it's been helpful. And tonight, I really do. I want to dig in, tonight and just answer any questions, just to unravel, anything that you may have, and basically to assess how it is that you show up. But I want to read one thing before I'm done. It is my prayer that you will feel your feelings, tell the truth, and give it to God. That you will let your tears flow, your anger create, but do no harm. Your loneliness will help you reach for those you need and help you be available to those who need you. Your loneliness will lead you to reach for intimacy with God. Your sadness will value life. Your hurt bring healing, not death. Though there will be scars, your fear will be the beginning of wisdom. Through forgiveness and change, your guilt will lead you back to humility and freedom. You will pursue these real heart truths that your joy will be complete. You will long for more life and deeper truths. Thank y'all so much.
I just didn't want us to quit talking. I just want that to continue. Golly. You sure you finished? I mean, we can come up with something. Come on, all over the house, all over the house, all over the house. If you would stand. Man. It's extremely, it's probably one of the most unfortunate things particularly in the black church, where somehow this whole deal of mental health, forget about the mental illness, but just mental health, it has this stigma that says, oh, not me, I'm good. No, you ain't good. Hell going on in your life, you trying to figure out life, you don't even know that you're suicidal. You don't even know that you got to completely just check out of here. Both mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Man, that's some good stuff. Praise God. Praise God that He has. I'm going to tell you what's really awesome. Because we, just like she said, they're clinical professionals that don't believe in this whole God, Jesus stuff. They just do it completely clinical. And they omit the God that we serve. But thanks be to God. That He has infiltrated the psychological and the mental aspect of our lives. And not only that, but He's provided tools. You know, that yeah, we cry out to Jesus, but we sure can get us some practical help too. Amen? That's good stuff. Man, that's good stuff. And look, the only reason I wasn't standing up because I was recording every last one of them things. Every last one of them. I'd have been through them, still trying to figure out how to go through them. Hey man, I'm open. Yeah, I need all that. I don't even deny nothing. I want my healing. I want my deliverance. I the whole stuff. We were just at the men's fellowship yesterday. I said, man, look, y'all, I need to talk some of this stuff out. You know, I get it. I promise you there was a time where I didn't think a pastor could ever commit suicide. But I done passed the 10 years now. I get it. In a weak moment, when all hell breaking loose, you can't really see a friendly face nowhere. Even with Satan's trick, he turns those friendly faces. People that mean well. But Satan somehow transcribes it and makes it evil. I'm telling you. But God is awesome. God is awesome. God is just, I think this was a timely message. I think it's needed, especially in the Black church. And I pray, I posted this, and we're going to continue to post this type of, this message. We're going to try to share it. I've got it on my Facebook page. I want y'all to share it because this needs to be heard. This needs to be communicated. So that we can get some help. So that we can live again. You know, to join with Jesus and really believe, come that you may have life. And life more abundantly. Alright, so good stuff. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to offer some invitations to you this morning. We're going to offer some invitations first off, if you don't know Jesus, hey, in my opinion, you can get all this stuff right, but if you don't have Jesus, you can go through all the clinical sessions and all that, but at the end of the day, you need Jesus. You need Jesus because He can really get you. For me, this Christian faith, the true Christian faith, allows me to make sense of all the hell going on. There's no other religion in my summation that really adds up, that really makes it whole for me, that really connects the dots. And so this Jesus guy has done some amazing things for you. He's done some amazing things for me, this world, and He's provided a way for us to have a relationship with Him. That relationship was marred because of the sinfulness of humanity. We just come here messed up. You don't have to teach a kid to lie. They come here lying. They come here bad. They come here with all types of issues, and we grow up like that. And Jesus is the one that mends that. He's the one that paid that penalty for that sin debt by dying on a hill called Calvary, dying on a cross. And so we're very adamant. We want to be very clear on why we're here in the first place. We want to get you to Jesus. Are y'all listening to me? We don't want to get you just to come up here and say a few words and leave like you came. There's enough of that. Churches today are filled with them type of folk that think that they'll check the box and all of a sudden everything's right. You just go live any kind of way. This Jesus that I'm talking about literally comes into your life and transforms it. That he meets you in your brokenness. But you got to own up to it. It's like Kelly said, you got to own up to this brokenness. And he wants that brokenness. Because he can do with that brokenness that you could never do for yourself. So we extend Jesus to you, right? We want you to get him. Forget about a church roll. We want you to get him. We don't want you to have any false security about you saying a few words and having a name on a roll at church and you thinking you got everything right. If your life has not changed, if you still living the same way, talking the same way, kicking it with the same folk, doing the same stuff, then chances are you really never met the Jesus that I know. Because the Jesus that I know meets me right where I am and will not let me be the same. He disturbs me. Causes me to be uncomfortable. Even when I start thinking bad actions, before they even get that, the Holy Spirit convicts me. If that's not happening for you, then you need to examine yourselves. Secondly, hey, if you've been out of church for whatever reason, it really doesn't matter. If you've been out of church, you need to be in church. Why? Because you need to belong to a body of believers where you can fulfill your purpose, where you can literally come alongside, you can belong with some folk that ain't got it all together but can link up with you and walk this thing out together, that can really, in a real sense, hold each other accountable. And then thirdly, if you belong somewhere else, another congregation, another church, number one, if you're happy to stay there, we're glad that you're in a church. Hopefully it's a healthy, Bible-based believing church, a church that's healthy. But if God has put it on your heart that that might not be the church for you, that you seemingly are spinning your wheels, you're not growing, you're not being fed, your spiritual gifts are not being utilized and fulfilled, then hey, all I'm saying is just be honest with yourself. And then if God has put it on your heart to be in a place like this where we, among other things, we deal with the whole man, both the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, then hey, this is a place for you. Trust me. This is a good place to be. So those are our invitations. We want you to come. We want you to be a part. You and all your issues, we want them all. You think you got some issues. We got some issues. Just like Kelly said, we get angry. And we like, yeah, I meant to say that. I meant that, but I'm sorry. Forgive me. We done had a lot of that going on in these last 10 years. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. But as a result of that, deeper relationship. That's why I can literally call these folks family. That's what we're inviting you to. Those are invitations. Anybody coming? Anybody coming today? Come on. We also always is an unspoken sometimes invitation for our members that just want prayer. We always offer that for you to have prayer. Amen. Just to remind some of you, especially the guests, we are a praying church. We take it seriously. We've had many of folk that belong to other churches that, look, I heard y'all were a praying church. Can I get on y'all's prayer list? And it's real simple. It's not that we're so super spiritual. We just believe in a super big God that can do some crazy stuff, crazy good stuff in the lives of folk that ain't got it together. That's what we believe. They got issues. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Amen. You may be seated. Come on, give God a hand of praise. Amen. Amen.
stand. When she realized it was my birthday, and she said, "This is 21 for you." I said, "No, sweetheart, this is 38 on my own every year." There's so many people I know of or knew of that did not get to live to say that they made it another year. Now bless God.
Yes. Ain't no wrong with that.
I remember I was sitting in my seat. There was one co-worker of mine who went in for a simple procedure Friday and passed out. And while we were sitting here, found out that she did not survive. It's so interesting. I knew this morning I was going to come up and ask for prayers for me. So I'm asking pray for her family as well. But most importantly, I just need some courage to realize some things that need to be corrected.
It's interesting, Leanne, my wife and I have had a conversation or two about you. And for whatever reason, and y'all know I'm not about this whole super spiritual stuff. I know I ain't gonna sack dirt. I get it. But for whatever reason, I don't even really understand it. And this actually has been building. And as God is my witness, I said I was going to have a conversation with you. Because I see deeper in you. You listen to me? I see it. I think we've seen it. And I'm just believing God with you and for you. That whatever that deeper is, wherever He's trying to get you, wherever He's trying to take you, I'm believing God. Whatever demon, whatever warlock is trying to get in your way, to stop it in the name of Jesus, I decree and declare deeper. For your family, in the name of Jesus. God makes no mistakes. God moves, stirs. You got greater in you. It's hard to keep greater under control. It's hard to keep greater under wraps, especially when God has revealed that that's what's in you. So He wants you. And we're all going to join with you in the name of Jesus. That God gets out of you everything that He's put in you. And that as a result of that, not only are you blessed, your household is blessed. Your place of employment, even the co-workers that are still there, they're blessed. We're blessed. In the name of Jesus.
People to pray for, people to
sons. So I just need y'all to keep praying for me. It's been hard. I accepted my grandmother's end on this earth, but my heart just can't deal with it right now. So I'm not okay. But I got a joy I can't explain. And I got tears. So just pray for me and my family.
Amen. We're absolutely going to do that. And I just want to reiterate, that's why we don't play when we come in here.
No, sir. No, sir.
I don't really know what your agenda is, and what you come here for, what type of entertainment that some people or you, I don't know if that's you or not, but I'm just telling you at COB that we don't come playing. There's too much hate going on.
Yes, it is.
There's too many situations like this for us to come in here to be playing, to be mad at somebody, to come in here with stuff other than trying to get to God so that He can come and see about us. That's it. That's our agenda. And let me tell you something. We were sharing this with me, and it's interesting. This is just a beautiful way of God doing this thing. We were sharing in the men about, we were talking about burdens, and how some of us were just talking about why God even gives us these burdens for hurting men and hurting families. And believe it or not, I believe this with all my heart, and I know this is to be true. God, we see it as burden, but at the end of the day, they're gifts from God. Because everybody don't feel like you. Right? So that means somehow God has started working in you. He somehow amplified this whole deal of this burden on this boy's life. And it's amplified in you. And you probably wonder, why everybody else ain't feeling this way? Because God gave it to you. And so my deal is I think what God does a lot of times, He moves us to a point of so uncomfortableness. That's it. It's a deal where He's burdened us so much that we can't not do anything. That we're moved to do something, even if it's just coming up here and asking for prayer. And so I encourage any of you that have been blessed with a burden that you feel like nobody else ain't really feeling or seeing. I pray you embrace it, and I pray you ask God, what you want me to do with this? And I pray He keeps you uncomfortable enough till you get your hind part off your tail and get up and do something about it. Yeah. But anything just to talk to Him about it. Yeah. Amen? Amen. Come on, we're going to pray. Preachers and deacons, if you would, we're going to come around and circle these two young ladies. And again, we believe in God to do what only God can do. Heads bowed, eyes closed, all over the house. God, we thank you, first of all, just for the opportunity to pray. We thank you for the privilege to pray. God, we're glad to be a family where we can join together and lift each other up. So God, before they even came, you knew the heart. You know it in a personal way. You have, in a real sense, you formed this burden. You formed the hurt. You've shaped it in a way that is tailor-made for them, so that number one, they can get to a point to where they can cry out to you for help. So God, first we lift up Leanne. We first lift up her co-worker's family. God, you saw fit to take her from here. God, we pray her soul was right. At the end of the day, that's between her and you. We pray for her family right now that they get things right, if they don't have it right. God, I pray for the school. I pray, God, that as they come to work on Tuesday morning, that they join together as a family and that they heal together, that they seek help to be able to process what has taken place in their life with their colleague. And God, you've heard Leanne's request, you've heard her cry, you've heard her desire for deeper. And God, you know what you put in my spirit, and so God, I'm thankful that you have connected dots. I'm thankful that you have brought her to a point to where she is crying out to you to get that deeper that she's asked for. God, I know prayers like that you answer. Prayers like that get your attention. And so God, I thank you in advance for the deeper that you're going to give her. God, we know Satan doesn't like it. And Satan will try every means, every toe hole, every crevice, every crack to get in to try to throw it there. But in the name of Jesus, I'm asking that you get out of her what you put in her. God, whatever that ministry is that you have for her, whatever circle of influence that's going to be a blessing, whether it's her friends, her family, her enemies, whoever, that deeper that's inside of her that she's desiring for you to get out. God, in the name of Jesus, don't let any devil in hell stop what you have for her. And God, we lift up Latrice. We lift up not only the mourning that she's still dealing with her grandmother, but we lift up this young boy, this 7-year-old boy that doesn't want to live anymore because of this bullying. God, I thank you for the burden that you put on Latrice's heart, because had she not had the burden, we wouldn't even know to pray. So God, thank you for the burden, but more importantly, God, I'm asking that you use this burden, shape it in a way that can motivate Latrice to do what you would do in this situation. God, I pray that you allow her to be your hands and your mouth, your words, your mouthpiece, your instrument, to be able to speak life where death is trying to reign. To speak life to the mother, to give her wisdom, to be able to love that child. And God, I'm praying for the bully. God, I can't stand the bully. But in the name of Jesus, I'm asking you, God, to do what we can't do. Change the heart of the bully. I pray, God, that you bring him, you humble him in such a way that the bully turns around and messes around and be his friend. God, that's stuff that only you can do. So we're asking in the powerful, matchless name of Jesus that you do that you regulate that boy's mind, to cause him to want to live and not die, to cause him to see things differently, even with this bullying situation. But God, just regulate the entire situation. God, I'm asking you to give courage to the other children that see this bullying going on, that they speak up, they stand up to the bully. God, these and all of the blessings we ask in your darling Son, Jesus' name. And all of God's people said amen. 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 Come on, give God a hand clap of praise. Amen. This is church. This is church. You can say you had church today. I like when we had church like this. Amen. Amen. All right, we're going to, this is first Sunday for us, so we have our communion time. This is the time where we actually take our minds back to Calvary. So I would that you would to start thinking about that. We do this not because we just want to eat some crackers and some juice, amen, to hold us over. But this has a distinct purpose, that there is some real good stuff happening here as it relates to this time of communion. So I ask you to just take your mind back to that old rugged cross. Take your mind back to what it really meant for him to die on Golgotha's heel. Think what it really took for him to divest himself of divinity and clothe himself in humanity. To really put on human clothes after you have spent eternity past with angels bowing before you 24/7 crying out, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. What you think about it, right? What would move God to want to leave that, to come here, and to not only just come and be a human, but be in a lowly state? As the Bible writers say, he was meek and lowly. And then on top of that, not only coming into meager means, I mean, here he is, he born in a manger, born under poor conditions. We're talking about somebody that spoke existence into life, and here he is in the lowest of that. And then to make matters worse, this same God that became human decided not to be killed, not to be murdered, not to be crucified, but to give his life and to die a death, murderous death, an excruciating death, death on the cross. By the cross, invented by the Persians, perfected by the Romans to exert the longest, most tumultuous type of pain over the longest amount of time. That's what your Savior did. So when we think about what he did, and even him just being on the cross, right? This whole idea of nails holding him there. Nails and wood didn't hold him there. This love for you and me, that's what kept him. And so we remember, we have mixed emotions about this whole moment, right? We're saddened by the fact that he who knew no sin became sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God. We're sad about that, because at the end of the day, he did it for us, because it had to be done. There was no other recompense. There was no other payment that could be had. So in a real sense, we're sad about that thing. But oh, thanks be to God, we're excited that even though he hung, bled, and died on that cross and stayed dead 3 days, we join with all of creation who yearns for this culmination of Jesus being raised from the dead. We're joining with the angels in excitement about how he got up, how he not only got up and lived, but he still lives again. That's why the Bible writers say that he is risen. Not that he has risen, but that he is risen. Some of y'all get that when you get home. He is risen. Because to suggest that he has risen, that means that, okay, it didn't happen and he's probably going to die again, but it's a constant present tense. He is risen. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we do this in remembrance of me. So this piece of cracker actually represents his body that was broken, that was beaten, that was bruised for all of us. Take, eat, and eat of it. Amen. And this represents his blood that was shed for us. Take your drink. Amen. And all of God's people said, Amen. Amen. If you would, pass those remains to the middle of the aisle. And as you're doing that, those that did not have a chance to give, if you would, raise those up high. Did not have a chance to give, please raise those up high. Amen. Amen. They got a different brand here. Amen. And ain't as tasty as that other. I know I wasn't the only one. At the end of the day, though. Amen. I don't care if you get you a loaf of bread and take a piece of it, which is what they actually did back in Jesus' day. They had the same piece that they drunk from the same cup. Because y'all got the cooties, we can't do all that. Amen. Amen. All right. So everybody did not have a chance to give. You rose up. Okay. Okay. We got it. All right. A couple of things before we go. I just need to have about a good 5 minutes right after church. Is it? Yeah, I need 5 minutes for my church folk, for my COB folk. Okay, just 5 minutes. Won't be long at all. We just got a brief presentation. We've been delaying this for several Sundays. We really need to get this out to you. So we shared it with the leaders already. We need to share this with you. So please, community of believers, just hold tight. I know we got some other things going on. Just hold tight if you will before we get up out of here. Amen? Amen. And don't forget about this evening, 5:30. Amen. Kelly. Amen. Let's give it up for Kelly. Amen. She's coming back, and it's going to be a little bit more of an intimate session where we can really dialogue with her. She's willing to do that, so we're very excited that she's willing to do that. So please come out, bring somebody. Some of y'all know some folk that need to hear stuff like this in your house. Call them, they ain't doing that. They ain't got to go to work tomorrow, so just bring their hind part and you here so y'all can get some help. Amen. Amen. All right, birthdays. September birthdays. All right. Now, amen. And in addition to birthdays, I got a special day this month as well. Yeah. On old Friday. 22 years ago. Amen. Old boo thing and I tied that old knot that just don't seem to want to be untied. Amen. Amen. So 22 years on this Friday. Won't you do it? Hey, hey. So we got birthday, and I'm gonna go ahead on and sing this. Amen. Amen. How we gonna sing it now? Yeah. Oh, he gonna make me go there. Lord have mercy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. COB, we're going to stand up and then y'all going to sit right back down. And then for our guests, first of all, I want to say this again. We thank you for our guests, amen. We really we like our lives with you, let you know that we see you and hope to see you again, amen. But I do see you, do recognize you up in here, and we hope to see you again, amen. Good stuff. Don't we want to see them again? Amen. They just had to be reminded. They really do want to see y'all. They really do want to see y'all. All right, all over the house, if you would stand. And if you would just come, well, never mind, don't do that. I was going to say come and shake Kelly's hand, but you just come back tonight and do that. Amen, at 5:30, amen? All right, look this way, look this way. I'm praying God's blessings upon you. I tell you, I'm so elated about what God has done in this place on this morning. God, I thank you. And I thank you for every person that was here. I thank God for each and every one of you that He caused to be here. Those who needed to be here were here. That there wasn't a coincidence that even some of you may have felt like not coming today, but you came. That means this message was for you. And so I'm asking that this becomes real for you, that you become real in acquiescing the deals that you're going through in your life, the tribulations, the trials. If you're angry, if you're going through, if you've got these suicidal thoughts, whatever it is that's ailing you, I pray, number one, that you own up to it. And then, in addition to prayer, in addition to fasting, in addition to just crying out to God, that you seek some help. And we know at least of one person that can really help us in a really Christian, professional way. And that's Kelly Davis. And she's got some colleagues as well that can help along these lines of mental health. So just be honest. If you want some help, you got help today. Amen. Amen. You got access to it. And we can talk through ways of you getting to that. You can connect with her, and we can be better as a result. But don't leave here like you came. Shame on you if you do that. May God give us all traveling mercies as we leave here. In Jesus' name, everybody say amen. Amen. Amen.